Hello, hello. We are live again now with the General Circle with Luke 10. Got my head in way too many things today. Welcome this circle. We haven't talked about circles yet. I was going to do a 15-minute preview before this on all things circle related, and we had a leader team up until 15 minutes before, so we took a break instead. And I don't necessarily want to take all of our time talking about circles, but maybe 5 minutes. Does that sound like an okay thing to do, to give 5 minutes to circles? All right. So Hillary, I'm not sure if I can share my screen. So I'm wondering if you can get up our circles, image of our circles. I
can, but I'm fairly certain you can share your screen. You just have to keep clicking through the prompts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bringing up circles then. I can find that in Discord, right? I was hoping that maybe you could bring it up while I'm talking. Could you do that?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right. So what are circles? John, someone recently commented, probably in a leader team or somewhere, that, wow, I love that you guys call these things circles instead of teams. And why do you do that? And when did you decide to do that? And I answered with, well, we've just always called it that way because that's the way sociocracy does it. And we are, to some degree, that's our governing system, is sociocracy with divine governance added. Well, what Kent calls divine governance is sociocracy with Jesus included into that. And they use circles. And then they said, no, you didn't always call them circles, though. I think you and John had a thing. Do you remember any of that, John? I'm just wondering.
I have a hard time remembering what I had for breakfast yesterday, Tony. So yeah, we did. I mean, like we have leader teams and movement teams, so we still have some of that.
Right.
But I think the more we embraced sociocracy, that was their term, which I think is great. And by the way, if somebody's listening in and has never heard of sociocracy, you can simply Google that. It is a thing. And people have done a lot of thinking about that, which is really helpful. And so it's sort of a way of governing ourselves that we've adopted.
Yeah, and I'm going to brag on Kent Smith just a little bit because, and I could be totally wrong with this story. So if I am, I'm sure my husband will correct me later, or Kent, because they hold all knowledge. But I remember the story this way. That sociocracy, as I remember, was founded, I want to say, in Holland. But it was definitely founded in Europe. And it didn't even come to the U.S. until, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or so. And when it arrived in the U.S., I do believe Dr. Kent Smith was one of the first people to start training and adapting and be in those circles that were the original circles of sociocracy and helping disseminate that in the United States, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And then that's when he was working through divine governance for his own operating system for Eden Center and for everything that he does, and started influencing you very casually, as Kent does, until we were big enough to actually implement something like that. So he is our, what, as we call him, our ecosystem champion. And I believe that is really why, because his passion is for that ecosystem to be to emerge in the way we lead ourselves and the way we let Jesus lead us. So anyway, a little piece for him, because I'm sure we'll be interviewing him at some point this week. And if you don't know him, it'll be fun to listen to. And maybe Hillary, or who's interviewing him? Do we know? Because maybe they can ask.
Who's interviewing who? I'm sorry.
Smith.
You are.
Oh, I get to interview Kent Smith. I'm so excited. Okay, super fun. All right, well, note to self. Okay, so our circles. So yeah, so we organize ourselves obviously when we originated, we were just one circle because we were so small. And that circle was really the mission circle at the time, I think. So that would have been Kent, John, Jim, maybe a few others in there who have gone on into other things. But as the organism started to grow, we really had a lot of work starting to emerge, like writing curriculum or managing software, doing a web design, right? So we had things emerge. And so in order to be able to pay attention to those well, we needed to differentiate a little bit in the way that we function, but yet still remain connected. And, if you follow any type of organizational theories, you understand the importance of differentiating and linking together, that's really how we create wholeness, is by doing those things. And so we formed circles. And our circles, there's a few things you should know about them. One is that everyone has a voice, and every voice matters in that circle, and that they're double linked, and that we have parent circles and kind of sub circles under these parent circles. And so it'll make much more sense when Hillary shares.
You ready?
Screen. Yep, we're ready. We can go there. And I will show you where this circle fits in the grand scheme of the entire organization. So, mission circle. The mission circle, as I mentioned earlier, was the founding circle of this organization, and it oversees the mission and vision of the circle to make sure that everything is headed in the right direction as it moves forward and grows. And the general circle, which is where we are today, is directly connected, as you can see, under the mission circle. So, and then all the other circles, the lighter green, the 3 lighter green circles are working circles that are directly connected to this circle. And in this circle, there are people from each one of those light green circles. In fact, 2 people from every one of those circles is in this circle right here. So Hillary and I would represent the comm circle, the conference circle. Hillary and Susan would represent the conference circle, the equipping circle. John and I would represent that one. And then even from the mission circle, you have John and I from that one into this general circle. And we'll have an operations circle soon that you're going to hear about today. And Hillary and I will form that double linking into that circle as well. So the other ones you can see are other little breakout circles that you'll hear about a little bit throughout the week, because tomorrow the finance circle will be meeting, which is off of the mission circle. And then Friday we'll have the R&D circle meeting, which you can see is off of the equipping circle. So probably as clear as mud, but we got 5 minutes of circling. And John, tell us how long it's taken for us to learn how to function well in circles.
Let's see, what time is it? I think I'm still in process. Takes a while to absorb all that, because it's very different. I mean, my background, Presbyterian Church, and so we had our own kind of operating system. This is way better, and for lots and lots of reasons. But it takes a little while to live into that you really understand all of it.
It does. It takes a while. Susan, any comments on our circles before we jump in today? Hillary, what about you?
I don't think so. We have it posted on Instagram, and we also linked some other resources if you're interested in learning that on the community Instagram.
Very cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our circle, and you're going to hear a little more about circles today, because our work in the general circle, we get to create a circle today, or recreate one. And so you'll just see a little bit about what's involved in that process, hopefully, today. So super fun. And we will begin with our normal rhythms then, as we say goodbye to everyone out there. Not really, but like we're going to hone into our work now. Thank you for tuning in. And I guess, Hillary, if anyone does have questions, they can write them in if they have any. And it's, every now and then we'll check those questions and just see if there's anything we need to answer. But we'll try to stick to our business for the day.
Sounds good.
All right. And we do have an agenda for these circles. That's how we keep up with all the information that we do, all the business that we do while we're together, so that all of the organization can see the business that we are doing. There's complete transparency and vulnerability within all of our circles. So everyone has access to this agenda. They can see what we're doing. If we record it, they can see what we've talked about. And so there's nothing hidden in our organization. There's no secret meetings, and there's definitely no meetings, with one person over here, and then this group hears something different because they're only connected with one person. That's why we have double linking. So none of that happens either, which happened in my home church years ago, which was atrocious. So, okay. I don't know if we want to share the agenda briefly with the whole screen so that we can just see that, because I don't know, are you guys able to see the agenda while we're on this screen, or is it helpful for us to share it together?
I have it pulled up and ready to share. I'm just waiting for it.
That'd be great. Well, why don't we'll share it after we do our appreciation. That's what's first on the list. So let's just jump in for our appreciation, because we start everything with appreciation, and then we can pull that up to when we start work, the work stuff. So deep breath. What appreciation do you want to bring today? I have so much. It's overwhelming. Hillary and I spent some time quieting yesterday because there's so much joy. It can be overwhelming. I'll go for the last one. I was in a leader team just now live, and Foy was on the leader team, and the group just asked such beautiful questions to kind of educe and draw him out. And I really enjoyed hearing about the book that he wrote many years ago, and where he's come from and where he is now. Just such a tender man, and to be such a strong man as well, a Marine and everything. But I just sense such a deep tenderness in him and a calling, and I just felt honored when I'm with him. So as we were together, all of us, I felt honored to be among women who are amazing at educing people out. And then just honored to hear his story as well. Made me smile, made me cry. We were in tears in many parts, and just super thankful. Amen.
I'll go next. So I'm an old youth pastor. When I was in seminary, I worked with high school students. And when I had my first church, I was the youth pastor and high school students. And so I have a special place in my heart for young people, teenagers, all of that. And so I've been sharing this particular appreciation story for probably the last week. And I've just been soaking into it. And I want to do a screen share. If I can get this right. Let's see this one here. How do I do it on here? Let's see. Cancel share. Entire screen. Maybe I'm not doing this right. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We're getting there. Good. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Where is it? What did I do wrong, Hillary?
It's a little different on this. And
I'm not sure. You might have to select which screen you're looking at, and then you have to click the orangey red button whenever you select the screen. So you might have to go through the process again.
Okay, one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll just tell you the story. All right, there's the entire screen. So select that, share.
And then what comes up when you hit share?
It had a little timer thing.
Okay.
And then I don't see anything.
Oh, weird.
All right, I give up.
Earlier either, so I'm not sure what the share screen is happening with it, but.
All right, I give up. So I'll just tell the story. The screen that you would have seen, I've been successful, is the recording of a Church 101 group being led by Giorgio and Karine in Beirut, Lebanon. They had taken 4 teenagers through Church 101. 2 who are their kids, teenagers, and then 2 who are from the UK. And then about, 6 weeks ago or so, I got an email from a gal named Emily, who is a senior in high school. She had somehow or other gotten a hold of my podcast and said, I've been listening. I love these podcasts. I think her parents had gone through Church 101. But what do I do next, she says. And so we had a great conversation, and like she's a 10 to be answer, right? And so I thought, let me check on something. I have an idea. So I talked to Giorgio and Karine. Could you all invite Emily into this group, and would they be willing to go through Church 101 again? So they checked with their group. They said, yes, absolutely. And so this screen that you can't see is all of these, Giorgio and Corinne, plus these 5 high school, a couple of them are like early college students, starting Church 101 together. And so I'm framing this as the first Luke 10 intercontinental youth group, because they're from 3 continents, right? And I just love that picture, and I love what's beginning with that. So, and I love that Luke 10 works with really old people like me, and it works for these high school kids. And I've just been soaking in that story for the last week. I'm in.
Wow, thank you. That's exciting. All right, Susan.
I have to say, I'm really missing the little reactions on Zoom, you know, where you can put your little heart up or your thumbs up. Like,
please, you need your lines. You need your lines.
I know. I keep wanting to. I'm going to have to, like,
here's
my heart. Here's my heart. Yeah. So my appreciation story is similar to Tony's, and just being able to be a part of their leader team today with them was kind of a drop-in guest, I guess. And it was especially fun because I had heard about Foy, but I had not met him. So really appreciate, Tony, you taking a little bit and doing some gentle curiosity and letting me get to know him. So that was really fun. And yeah, it was just really great to be able to connect with him and all of you guys. So yeah, that's it. I'm in.
And you felt?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I felt seen and heard, and just encouraged, I think. So it's always fun to
shout out message. Thank you for messaging me during the call and saying, I don't know Foy.
I'm like, wait, can we introduce ourselves?
I didn't tell him I was prompted for that greatness, but you were awesome. Thank you.
Plan to anytime.
Got my back. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah. So good to have you. Hillary.
Yeah, so I need to check in because I can't quite get to appreciation at this moment. I am extremely frustrated. Our recordings aren't easily available. The replays are in a very confusing order. And we are still missing 2 recordings from yesterday. And I know that the Rally Up team is super supportive and really like on it, and they're helping us out, and it's amazing. But these I can like feel loose ends and undone projects. And it's a lot, and it's really frustrating. And then on top of that, having to be like on call since like 7 a.m. Has been a lot. So I really just wanted these to be ready so I could tune out, but I don't think I'll be able to tune out until like 9:30 again tonight. And I don't know. I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you. And would you like something from us today? Whether it is, listening, prayer, asking what you need from us, and if we can help, can we go there, or do you just want to keep moving? How are you feeling? What would you like and need today?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what I need or what I can ask for. I am probably going to look at the schedule tomorrow. I don't think I don't know yet. I need to listen. But I don't know yet if I can be available for our Operation Circle tomorrow.
Okay.
Right now. I would, obviously I love my meetings with Dennis and everything, but I don't know. Maybe I don't need to be here.
Right.
But I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. So, okay. So can you think of 2 things? And if we need to listen, that's fine. One is there anything I can do tonight so you can be off? So if I need to sit here waiting for things to render until 9:30 tonight, I can do that. So is there anything I can do that you don't have to do? Well, first of all, and secondly, do you need to be in this meeting? So can we take a minute or two to just listen on that, or do you already know the answers?
I think I can connect. I think instead of just one person waiting on the rendering, I think it would be good for you, me, and Zach to be that on-call person. So it's sharing that responsibility. And then I'd love to just share what's going on with the videos, because it's very confusing to text it out. And if you're not fully understanding the problem, that could be confusing too.
You broke up and I didn't hear you. You said you would like to share something about the videos, and I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I'd love to share what is actually happening. So it's a little more technical, because it's very confusing to write out, and I don't know how to write it out clearly.
Okay. And would you want to do that right now in this meeting, or do you want to do that with me afterward? When do we need to do that?
If I can do that now and then like peace out for a little bit.
Okay. Great.
That would be great.
Yeah. Does that proposal sound okay for you two? And then we can go on with business today. Okay, great. Go for it, Hill. What is going on with this video?
So it is like Luke 10 to use programs and to conate and to experiment with things that aren't necessarily supposed to be used in that way. So we are using this amazing platform called Rally Up that is not supposed to be used for live streaming 24/7 or like multiple times in one day. So there's a couple layers to the problem. One, replays are normally not available for the person hosting Rally Up or the person hosting their fundraiser. They have granted us special permission to get these recordings after the fact so that we can own them, use them, and continue to share them. Normally, when a fundraiser is live, they have one live stream. And when they are not live, they can replay that one live stream for as long as they want. Since we are constantly live, we can't make our replays available when we're live, which is frustrating because we should be able, I don't know. Maybe we just need to post them in a different place so that people can access them, but that's problem solving. The next problem is the order in which the replays are available are only available when we click end session and then go live again. So the only time I get to see the replays, or any of us get to see which replay number they are and what category they're in, is when we click end session. And that time space between end session and our next meeting has never been long enough for me to get a grasp on what's actually happening. And if we take a long time, that means it's just a white screen for whoever's watching live. And as soon as we click out of there, I don't have access to the replays anymore. And supposedly they are coming in chronological order and numbered somehow, but it's not intuitive. As of right now, we should have 7 recordings for today. And there's like 21 that are showing up, and I have no idea what they are. And I have almost all of our recordings from yesterday and even Monday, all of our testing recordings, but I'm missing 2, which is the welcome session and Gentle Curiosity with Zach. So those are still rendering on Rally Upside. The other issue is technology is slow and rendering is slow. So as soon as our last thing happens and we end stream, all of our videos from the day start processing, and then that task is put onto one person in Rally Up, and they need to know which numbers, which recordings, how many we need. And yesterday it took her 3 hours and she couldn't get all of them. Like, this is a big job. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was absolutely amazing, but it's not done. And I'm sure she's feeling it as much. Maybe she's not, but that undoneness and that unknown is so strange.
Wow. Okay. So first reaction is definitely makes me want to tip Rally Up, because they're really working hard for us.
We're so supportive on chat and all of our emails.
Please tip. Please tip. Okay. So I'm wondering if we want to brainstorm any of this at all right now, or if you and Zach and I want to try to brainstorm it at some point later. And if it's enough for you to share all this now and then just space out, not space out, go and just not be here. Do you need anything else right now?
I'm definitely open to you, me, and Zach talking. However, if we want to actually play with it, we can't be live.
Right.
So we have to talk outside of a live, and probably after Jonathan's Gentle Curiosity tonight.
Great. I mean, the first thing I'm wondering is, do we have access to the replays, and can I download them and then put them on YouTube? Because that would be the best way to kind of be able, because we can replay YouTubes on our live stream. We can point people to our YouTube channel or to the YouTube channel we're using. So is that possible?
So yes and no. Last night, I got the email with all of the links to the video. I don't know if you can download them. I haven't tried that because I don't have access to the YouTube, so I wouldn't have to download it. You can try downloading them and uploading them onto YouTube. The tricky part when it comes to us playing a video, like this morning before Gentle Curiosity with Dennis, I was playing an old recording. That old recording gets recorded if we stream it. Weird. So if we want to play a video, it's also recorded live, and then we have to sift through which recording number that was.
That's sad. You can't choose to not record something that's live. You know, I bet Rally Up's figuring out a lot of problems with their software right now.
I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, I'm so sorry. I literally love you guys. I love this platform. I will preach it, but I am stressed.
Well, thank you for sharing. Go ahead and forward me that email, and I'll see what I can do today. And then let's me and Zach, or at least when you try to regroup tonight, whenever you're up for it, and you have a minute, maybe 8 your time, I don't know, 7 your time, whenever you've eaten dinner and you're rested a little bit, and we can maybe spend 30 minutes and just try to figure out how to move forward and what I can take off you for that.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Any comments? Yeah, John, Susan?
Can I offer a thought, Hillary?
Please.
So to me, the larger frame that I would put this in is that this whole thing is an incredible experiment. I think without any recordings, it's already hugely successful. If there were no recordings, if we never got any of those, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So what I want to say to you is I think you're doing a fabulous job. And if there's any way that I could lower your expectations for yourself, I don't know that I could do that, but if there's any way I could do that and let you know that any recordings are like gravy. That's like extra, that's like necessary. So it's a great success as it is. And if you get the other stuff, great. If you don't, I think it's perfectly okay. So I just would encourage you not to kill yourself over that.
Well, I won't be doing that. Thank you.
You know what I mean?
I also wish I could lower that internal critic and that wanting to really be better. So that is partially why I think I'm going to step out of this general circle meeting. So really just the permission to share and the permission to be me and to take care of me is huge, especially coming from you, John, and you, Tony, and then Susan as well, just always constantly being there and saying like, do you need help? Can I help you with something? Because I know that she's there. And
we want to know how we feel about what is and what you're doing. So you just talk to that little critic inside and tell them what we think.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Good.
Also, if I can just say, Leah Neighbor wrote 7 minutes ago and said, "Hillary, you rock. Luke 10 is so blessed to have you."
Oh my goodness. One of my really good friends just texted me and said she was listening. So, Gabby, you get to watch me cry live. Thank you so much for listening.
Let's make sure we've recorded this session if we don't get anything else.
That's right, if we don't get anything else.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely being recorded, so great.
Susan, did you have anything to add?
No, not really. Just we love you, Hillary, and it's going to be okay. That's what Joel and I tell each other all the time. It's going to be okay. Just it's okay. It's all right.
Yes,
Thank you. So, Hill, I think you've got the agenda. You know what we're going to be talking about. I don't think that there's anything on here you haven't done before or know all the information probably already. And you'll have a recording later if you need to watch it.
Maybe. I don't know if I'll have a recording. Don't say that.
So I'm fine with you going, and and I think it's beautiful because it models again who we are. The person comes first. We all pull in when we need to and do what we need to do to make sure we all get good self-care and help each other out in the work that we're doing with deep compassion, because we know we're all giving our all. So anyway, you're more than welcome to go if you would like to and just enjoy the next hour. or not, whatever you need to do.
Thank you. I'll go backstage and mute myself. If I ground myself and maybe this was just enough and all that I needed, I'll pop back in.
All right.
But yeah, I shouldn't have any paramount objections to starting the Operation Circle. Only tons of fun stories to share.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll hear those stories at some point. So thank you, babe. I love getting to work the way we work. So probably the most.
Is this typical, Tony?
It's so typical. As we say, it's a miracle we get anything done, because we feel like we really are just tending to us most of the time, but amazingly so, lots of things get done. And we're all surprised at how that happens.
That's so true.
All right. Well, I don't know if any of us can screen share, but I can try. So let me see if it is going to work for me right now. It wasn't working earlier for some reason.
I can still screen share if you need me to.
Tony, what are you wanting to screen share?
Hold on.
The notes?
It says, please ensure permissions are granted for your browser and for this site. That's what I keep getting, and then I get nothing. So it's so weird. It doesn't do anything else for me at all except please ensure permissions are granted. Yeah, I was trying to share our agenda for the day so we could all see what we're working on together.
Oh, you got it. Way to go.
I got it. Hillary got it for us, I think.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Hillary.
Sure.
I don't but I'm assuming, that one of us can stop sharing whenever we're ready to. Okay, so confirm our next meeting. We do need to decide. This is a kind of, we didn't meet last week like we normally do because we had things going on. And so we're meeting this week. But then do we want to meet next week as well? Or do we not want to meet next week? Do we want to not meet anymore this month and get back on the 2nd and the 4th Wednesdays? What do you guys propose? Proposals.
What's the need from your perspective, Tony?
I mean, we could say let's weigh in on the 20, let's just weigh in next week on Discord and see if we want to meet on the 29th. Because that would be every other week, right? Because we wouldn't meet again until the 13th of July if we don't meet. So I would say let's see if we need to meet on the 29th.
Okay, so we should schedule 29th?
Yeah, let's schedule the 29th. If for whatever reason we don't need to, we can always cancel that. But we could. And then going forward, still the 2nd and the 4th Wednesdays. Consented to. I can't see you guys, so I don't know if. Let me see if I use a different view here. Show grid. Oh, there we go. Now I can see you guys. Good.
You can't hear me. That's why. I'm like trying to talk, and the 29th might be a critical time in light of the conference, because that's going to be our big cutoff for the hotel. So
And so it sounds like
it would be good to.
Okay, great.
Good
Let's
to
do
meet.
that. Let's confirm it and just do it. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Okay. So then we build our agenda together. So what we do, this circle is so unique, and we keep saying this because we're still living into it. But this circle is so unique because we oversee all of the work of Luke 10. So we oversee the equipping circle and their work. We oversee the communication circle and their work, the conference circle and their work, the ops circle and their work. So what the point is of our circle is to bring any necessary items, needs, things we need to inform the whole organization about regarding the circle that we're representing or stewarding. So as you can see on our agenda, we have these circles here: communications, conference, equipping, and operations. Take 1 minute of silence and look at your circle that you're in and that you're representing or stewarding, one or the other, and just see if there's anything else that needs to go there that we have to talk about today. Okay? All right. From the communication circle, it was the 67 experiment. Any help that was needed. So I think we treated that very nicely, and we've done that. We can do a quick reaction round of how y'all are feeling about it, and if there's anything else you guys need. Yeah, Susan?
Yeah, so and I'm sure you guys have probably already thought of this because you guys are always way ahead of me. But I would love to see a debrief after the 67 experiment.
So when you donate, to Rally Up, you are sent an email, and in that email it invites you to our debrief session, and it's a Zoom call on Monday, the 20th, that afternoon, where we will debrief this experiment. So we actually get to debrief it with donors, and obviously I can send an invite to our staff and team as well if they haven't donated. but yes, it is scheduled and it is there. And to all of you who have donated, make sure you pay attention to that thank you letter, because that Zoom invite is there. So please, we are inviting everyone to come and participate in a debrief with us.
Can you tell us what time on the 20th?
Yes. Thank you, Susan, for bringing that up. I didn't think to mention it. It is on, we're calling it the closing round, and it is at 3 p.m. So it might be more of a closing round reactions, not necessarily an operational debrief, probably. We'll need to do that with Hillary in our general circle meeting as well, probably on the 29th. But this will be more of a closing round and debrief from the participants' perspective and all of us as participants of this.
So 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Thanks.
And you can go ahead and you do need to probably sign up for that call. So staff members, I can send a link to, and then others will have to probably have to donate. I don't know if maybe Hillary will send an email to just anybody who's in our facilitators or our leader teams training. Maybe she'll invite them too. I'm not sure. So we haven't. Do y'all have a feeling of who should be invited to that closing round? That's probably the best question, is to get your input.
I would say anybody that was involved in any capacity. But yeah, anybody that was involved, anybody that donated. Love to just hear different people's perspective in terms of, how they interacted with us, how they interacted with Rally Up. So, because I know different people had played different parts. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Can I make a proposal then that I send an email out probably tomorrow to all of the people that are participating in this? There will be a closing round Zoom call on Monday at this time. Here's the link. Will you please sign up if you want to be there? That way, if they don't end up donating, because they might be giving through Kindful, so they might not be a part of this actual campaign financially. But that way they can join us on Zoom. Does that sound like a go?
Good idea.
Hillary, comments, thoughts, questions?
I personally kind of just want it to be for the people who are donating with Rally Up, but it's not a paramount objection. But that is why we kind of hid the invite. So maybe if we wait until Monday to send out that email, and if you want to be part of this little debrief and closing round, if you've been watching and everything, we really are looking for monthly supporters and new people. And this is a way to see what we're all about and actually see our faces, and we can see you and you can be part of our rhythms.
So real quick though, Hillary, who do you hear me saying I'm sending an invitation to?
Yeah. So I hear you saying you're sending the invitation to all of our leaders and people who are already possibly giving it to Luke 10.
No, not at all. I'm proposing that I send it to our people who have been involved in this, who've been interviewed, and who've been hosting. So only our staff and the trainers that we've interviewed. So only people who have actually been a part of the program of this event, because I feel like that would be really sad to exclude them because they didn't donate when 15 hours this week hosting calls and interviewing people.
Yeah, I should have clarified what you meant by our people, because sometimes we use that when we talk about our email list. So thank you for clarifying that.
So welcome. Okay, so is that good to go for you then? Yeah? Okay, great. So I will do that Thursday, hopefully. Wonderful. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Hill. The other thing, thinking about that's not on here that we do need, it is on here, but it's later in the agenda, but this conversation belongs here, is the listed facilitator gathering that's on Monday. I would like to do that live. I'd like to bring that live. So our people who might not participate can see what it's like to be in a listed facilitators gathering, can get to know some of our listed facilitators who might log in that day. So what that would involve would be me sending an email to our listed facilitators who are, well, all of them, letting them know we're doing it live and asking which ones are going to come so that we can get them up and running and Rally Up. So are there any thoughts about that proposal as we shape it?
We may or may not be able to do that technically. I have to do a little bit of research on the Rally Up side, but I was fairly certain from what I was collecting from online is that we can't adjust administrators once it's already starting. So we might not be able to do it live, but that's just a quick search for me right now, if you want me to go find that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. That would prohibit that idea.
Hillary, so let me know about that as well, because I was going to do a movement team circle on a movement team on Saturday, and some of those people are probably not administrators. So let me know what you find out, please. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to go backstage and just research that real quick for us.
Great. Thank you. Great. Yeah, I tried to get everybody approved and in before we started, but I thought it would be better to let people experience what this was before we were inviting them to join us live on Monday, because maybe they wouldn't want to if they didn't know what this was about. So
Tony, we're talking 2 different Mondays, is that right? So the review.
No, same Monday.
So 2 meetings on Monday, is that correct?
Yes, at different times, which means different people would be able to participate. So the facilitators gathering is at 10 a.m. Eastern time, as always, right? Well, we rotate that every month to evening or or morning. So it's the morning rotation this time. And then obviously the closing round is in the afternoon.
I see. Okay, thank you.
So we'll get some people and then we'll get other people globally, depending on their time zone. Hillary.
Got some good news.
Thumbs up. Okay.
We can make them administrators. I would recommend when you do send that email out to your people to copy and paste my how-to. It includes a video of Matt if they're a visual learner, but it also has steps as well.
Good.
And does it have the link? Is this the same link that they can sign up?
You're going to have to grab the link from the other email I sent about the trial day. So I split it up for 2 for our staff, but they'll be getting it all in one.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out if I need help, but I will try to be resourceful on my own. Great. And so, John, for your movement team, same thing applies. Do you know where those emails are, or do you want me to just add you? Well, I'll copy you in on the ones I send.
Ah, beautiful.
And you'll have all the information you need, hopefully, so you can just forward it to your movement team.
For us technologically impaired people, that would be very helpful.
Do you feel spoiled, Dad?
I do.
You take such good care of you.
You do.
Can I give a huge compliment share a huge compliment that Louie shared last night at our dinner party?
Yes, please.
So I was talking about Luke 10 and how we're going live and like this amazing platform we're using, and that it's even so intuitive that our 70 plus up crowd is getting it.
Yeah.
And Louis stops and he goes, yeah, but like your people, like your 70-year-olds know what they're doing. Like they are really technologically advanced. They are on top of it and they're like a different breed. Like they're not normal. Which I was like, oh, they would love to hear that.
Wow.
Yeah, John knows he's not normal.
Yeah, because you've been doing Google Chat and Skype since before people really liked Skype or what it was. You've been on the cutting edge of technology, and while it may take you a minute, you're still doing it. You're still trying, and you're not resistant or against it, but you're, let me learn, how do I do that? And that is amazing.
Thank you, Hillary. Well, it's so helpful to have people like you guys who actually know what's going on to kind of hold my hand and push this button here. So
yes,
it's
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. As Hillary was onboarding my 13-year-old today to help with my social media.
Yes, I am employing Anne to be Tony's social media manager.
That's great. I love it.
Thank you. Okay, I think 67 is done. Are we done with communication 67 for now? Enough. Yeah. Okay, great. Conference. I know we're getting so excited. So why don't you, Susan, take lead with this and give us an update on numbers or anything that we need to know to act on?
Yeah. So in terms of numbers, we are looking at a total of 44. So that would be 38 adults and 6 kids. And I know of at least 5 people who have told me they are going to sign up and they just haven't yet. So
does that include Foy?
I'm sorry?
Does that include Foy?
That was my number 5, yeah.
Right.
So yes, so we are inching our way up there and getting really excited. For anybody that's watching or listening, the cutoff to sign up for registration, I'm really sorry about all the background noise. The cutoff for registration, for regular registration, is the 27th of June. And the reason that it's so early is that we need to let the hotel know what rooms we do not need to use. So we're going to release them so that we're not being charged for them. So please.
After that date, can people still sign up locally?
So they can sign up. We'll have late registration available on our registration page.
Oh, okay, that's right.
They can still sign up there, but we cannot guarantee a hotel room.
Right.
So chances are we'll be able to get one, but we can't guarantee one. So, but we will work with you on that to get that figured out.
Right. And again, this leader conference is for people in leader teams, Luke 10 leader teams, or personal invitation. So if you're not in a leader team and you think you'd like a personal invitation from John or myself, let us know. But that would mean you already roll with our DNA, our values and practices typically, and you're like, oh, I want to do this. I want to be with people like me, and we can interview you and talk about that and definitely give you an invite. But just know that's who our conference is geared towards. Great. Hillary, conference stuff.
You know, I had my hand raised because I was like, oh, that brings an important question, but I didn't write it down, so I don't remember it. Yeah. In the last meeting, we talked a little bit about the virtual conference. I'm going to say it here again. A virtual conference will not happen without you.
Oh.
And if you get that sinking feeling and you're like, she's talking to me, I am talking to you. You need to email me and say, how do I make this happen? How do I help? What do I do? And then join me tomorrow morning with Scott Lazaros, and maybe we can go live with you and we can all talk about what we're feeling, what we're sensing, and how we want to move forward. But this is not happening without a ton of our support from the community. And that includes conference attendees locally, physically, and also virtually. And if you're very confused by that statement, check out the leader lesson, page 3.
Thank you. So if you've never been to a Luke 10 conference, last year was our first year to actually offer it virtually, kind of live. And it was a great experiment. There were some breakout leader teams even that joined for that whole week to travel together during that weekend, that long weekend. So you really do get to be a part of a conference without having to be here physically. And because we have so many, we have 250 people in leader teams all over the world, not all of you are going to be able to come. So if you feel longing inside your heart to help make that virtual experience happen, please let us know. Let Hillary know. Thank you, Hillary.
And you can email me at hillary@luke10.com, or Discord me, or text me, or send a carrier pigeon, how best you communicate.
There you go. All right. Just an update from the tribal gathering proposal piece. We're going to be submitting the proposal, I think, tomorrow to the finance circle. Maybe I won't present it to the finance circle. I don't remember if it's on the agenda or not, John, but we have that. It's still shaping. It's almost done. And I don't think there's a lot new yet. So I'll just share that, and it's here in the agenda if y'all want to look at that.
Good.
All right. Equipping circle. I don't think, John, do we have anything we really need to report from the equipping circle? I
don't think so. Nothing critical.
I don't think so either. Operations circle. That brings us to operations too. So we had an operations circle for a while, many moons ago, and it kind of folded because we moved most of it into the comms circle. And so we started working there principally. And what we realized is that our pathways started deteriorating just a little bit because we needed somebody to focus on them in particular. And now that Dennis is with us, we have someone to pay attention to our pathways. And therefore, we want to rebirth this circle and eventually actually have him steward it. That's my goal, my dream. Let's just say that. That would be my dream, which would mean he would enter this circle as a steward of a circle. So it's a lot for us to talk about probably. I think he's probably a few months away from even thinking about stewarding anything because he's in training still and all of that. So we have plenty of time to talk about that. But today we need to birth that circle so Hillary and I and Dennis can start meeting and start forming that circle and training him in sociocracy and what our circles do and what we are, which we were hoping to do tomorrow. If we can't do it, that's okay, Hill. But tomorrow morning, actually starting that process with him live, and people could see how we even birth a circle. So, or how we birth it, and then what happens in that circle when they get together. Thoughts, questions, reactions about all that?
Yeah, I want to check in real quick. I am a lot more grounded. Just the ability to say that I was frustrated and didn't know what to do, and the capability of just going back screen for a little bit has just really helped. And knowing you guys are supportive on no matter what. So my thoughts for tomorrow's meeting are a lot less dooming than they were, 55 minutes ago when I checked in. So yeah, I'll keep checking in with you around that, but it should happen.
Thank you, Hillary.
Yeah.
So Tony, for people that are maybe watching this that don't know kind of what all goes on inside, what is an operation circle, and why is it needed? Why is this a particularly challenging kind of thing?
Right. Well, we're going to go over what our aims and domains are. And when we talk about forming that circle again, we're going to pull those back up and, make sure we go through those again. So we're going to kind of hash all that out.
Okay.
And we'll go through all of all of the goals of having that circle and what that circle will oversee. So I don't know if you want me to say much about it now, or if we just want to jump in and do the work of actually creating it.
If you could spend a little bit of time on that. Again, I'm thinking of people who are watching who might not be there tomorrow. And one of the places where I think
we're going to talk about it right now. We have to, you and us. We, as the parent circle, are charged with creating the aims and domains of the circle. We get to decide what that circle is, what they're in charge of, and what their goals are, and why we need them. So it's actually something this circle does together. So that's our job today.
Let's do that, and you might well answer my questions as we do that. So yeah, go ahead.
Great.
I have it pulled up, ready to go. Let me know when you want me to share.
Any thoughts so far, and then we'll jump into the work. Okay, great. So Hillary and I have a proposal to submit to you guys to work through together, just to give us something to start with. You can go ahead and pull that up, Hillary. And it's actually the work we did 2 or 3 years ago when we founded this circle. So we all did this work 2 or 3 years ago. So it makes it a little easier because we have something to work on.
I just want to make sure I'm pulling up the right thing. I'm pulling up the Operation Circle agenda and notes where it has the aims, domains, and rally cry.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was another proposal that I should be sharing. I was like, uh-oh.
No, that one's good.
Here we go.
All right.
You're going to have to change our view. That way we can all see each other and this.
Oh, great.
Gotcha.
Let me make my screen big. And change my view. Oops. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So I don't know if y'all can read it. If you've got, anyway, if you need help, let us know if you need help reading it. Thank you, Hillary. So right now, Hillary, I think we're proposing to meet once a month right now. Is that correct? Okay. And we can rearrange that later, but that's what the proposal is right now. So the aims of the circle, why do we need an operation circle? What's the goal of having this group formed? And this is what it was doing, and we can adjust this to the current need if it has changed. John, can you read it, John?
It's too small.
Maybe
if it's just
okay,
one.
I'll read it out loud then. Design, implement, and report on Luke 10 learning pathways. So this group looks at our pathways in the portal, as well as in Active Campaign, because it's two-sided, right? We have the actual portal that has our content, but then we also have I think it's called Customer Relations Management Software, the CRM software, which is Active Campaign, where we track individuals and, whether they signed up for Church 101 or not, whether they signed up for the intro call or not, right? So this group is responsible for designing, implement, and reporting on all the people going through our learning pathway. So going through our, what's it called? Our portal. Okay. Questions about that? Is that clear or not? I've been in like 5 meetings today. My brain is tired, but help me out if I'm not clear on that.
So I think it's clear. Absolutely. I think that people who aren't on the inside of this might have a hard time understanding how complex this is and what happens if it isn't done well. And it's not stuff I'm doing, but I'm just listening to Hillary and listening to you, Tony. And this is like a big deal. And can you share a little bit about the emotion of this?
Ooh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. The emotion. The emotion is almost, okay, so if a fire hydrant burst all of a sudden, and I'm in charge of catching all the water in little small cups, that would feel really overwhelming. Because I have a stack of cups here and I'm flipping them and trying to catch as quick as I can, but lots of it's just running all over the ground and I can't catch it.
It's a good picture.
So this person actually designs, I don't know, not a robot necessarily, but a way for lots of people to grab cups and catch things so that we're all working together in harmony to catch all the water that's coming so that very little of it escapes us.
And maybe even eventually we learn how to turn off the fire hydrant from exploding. Maybe we don't put out the fires, but stop the thing from exploding.
In the last 4 years, to make it more concrete, we've had well over 600 people who've gone through Church 101. And the value is that we want to be faithful. When God brings somebody to us who signs up for Church 101, we want to make sure that we take really good care of them, that they don't slip through the cracks, they don't get lost in the process. And so it starts with Church 101, and then they finish that. And many of those people want to go into leader team. We've had several hundred people to do that, and then facilitator training. So it's really a big job. And our sense is the number is increasing, we think, over the next year. And one more plug on that. This is one of the reasons that having Luke 10 fully funded is really important. The contributions to this makes it possible for, in this case, Dennis, Hillary, whoever's to work on it, to do that. And so that's why we feel strongly about this. Did I say that? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so. Except this is a circle. So if we were looking at an independent job description, that would be one thing. This is a circle. So no one person will be doing all of that work, but one person, the steward, will be tasked with focusing on that area. So if Dennis, for example, becomes the steward and he's the one paying attention to it all, Hillary and I will still work and do tons of work, but I don't have to carry the weight of paying attention to that whole thing in my mind, which means I can pay attention to general circle, finance circle, training circle, R&D circle, and I can let Dennis pay attention to that circle. And it just feels like, wait, I just get to show up with my cup and catch water. I don't have to think about the system of how to do it. If that makes sense. Hillary, is that your experience too, or?
Yeah, I think so. And the other wonderful part about circles is the steward has that, eagle eye view and has the understanding, but also every single member has a voice, and we all learn to listen to each other and really create ideas and pull ideas out from each of us so that we can grow together, which has been really fun to just watch and observe in many circles, not just this operations circle.
Yeah. So Dennis doesn't, or whoever's the steward, doesn't carry the weight. They just carry the focus, and then they bring everyone's attention to what needs to have attention in that moment.
Yep.
Very powerful. Okay. Is that good?
Yep.
All right. So then the second thing is and Hillary, can you read it? Because I think my eyes are going cross-eyed.
Again, yes. Under aims, is that where we are?
No, we're on the second one under aims. Yeah.
Great. Usher all members into appropriate communities of practice. Equipping circle, communications, and learning champion.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why we put equipping circle, communications, and learning champion under here. Do you know why we did that? I read that earlier and I was like, I wonder why. Maybe Hillary will remember why we did that.
No, that looks like a typo, honestly, because I feel like the appropriate communities would be Church 101 and leader team and movement teams.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Part of me thinks we might have meant that in order to do that, they have to actually work with those other circles. Oh, no. I think I remember what this is. I don't know why it's not listed, but I think that was who is in this circle. Who will be in the operations circle? Someone from the equipping circle, someone from the communication circle, someone in the learning champion. I think that's what that was supposed to be, but I don't know how it ended up there. Thank you.
We can take that somewhere else.
We get to decide who goes into that circle, right? As the operations, as the general circle, we get to say who's going to steward the circle, who's going to, and what types of people, do we need in the circle from what part of our organization needs to be here. So I think I'm the the training champion. Hillary is the comms rep. And then what other rep was in there? It's so tiny.
Hold on, I didn't put it back.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think it was the equipping circle, which I represent the equipping circle as well. So the day could come where we go, oh no, we need someone else from the equipping circle in there too. That could happen.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about when you were talking about circles and double linking and everything. Right now we are very small. So you can be like, there's 6 circles. You all should have like 20 people on this call. Right now we're filling multiple hats and multiple roles.
Efficient organization. We cover a lot of ground among the 4 or 5, 6 of us. Yes, we do. Or we pay attention to a lot of different things. I think that's what our circles say. We pay attention to a lot of different things. And this helps us pay radical attention to those things in those moments. So it's really helpful for us. Great. Thank you. Okay. Any thoughts about who else needs to be in this type of operations circle?
I did just get a knock at my door and it's a package. So I need to go get that.
Go for it. Okay. Great. If that's good, she'll probably fill that in of just what our communities of practice are, just so that's clear. Usher all members into appropriate communities of practice. So whether it's their intro call, their Church 101, their intro to leader team, their intro to facilitator training, their facilitator training, their intro facilitator training. You get the point? That person will be overseeing lots of ports where people get on their little ships and go sail. All right, thoughts or questions about that aim? Actually, not that person, but the whole circle.
That's good.
Great. Domains then. So domains means their freedom, okay? The aim is kind of like, this is what we're hoping you'll do as a circle. And then their domain is, and this is the freedom you get to do it. So anything within this domain is yours. You just make that call. So here's the domains that we used to have. We can evaluate these. Chooses and runs all CRMs, Acuity, Active Campaign, and other software systems. So usually we do say, obviously they present a proposal and get consent from the mission circle or from the general circle, especially if it costs money. So they have to do that within our consent, but they get to research that, they get to choose that, and they get to propose it. We as a general circle aren't out there researching their CRMs and telling them what CRM they're supposed to use or telling them what kind of system they are supposed to use when we're not doing that work, nor do I want the freedom of having to research that and figure that out. Questions, clarifying thoughts, reactions to that domain?
Good.
Yeah. Oversees development and implementation of the learning portal. Again, no content involved here, just actually how to present that content and get it out there. Great. Manages training pathways, including leader team placement, Lord willing. May it happen? We've never actually had a circle own this before, bigger than Hillary and I. So this is the biggest relief part that I think we're going to feel. Go ahead, John.
So what does that mean? Just unpack that a little bit.
So when someone finishes Church 101 and they want to get on a leader team, it is not an easy process because our leader teams are, it's all independent contractors, right? So they're all out there working for themselves, really. That means they're very organic, and a lot of them don't let us know what they're doing, when they're doing it, or how many spaces they have available in their leader teams. And so tracking that and then being able to match people into leader teams is not for the weak of heart. It's not an easy task. And then, making sure that facilitator follows up with that person. I mean, we could connect someone with a potential leader team. They could say yes. And then 3 months later, we get an email saying the facilitator never reached out and they hadn't started their team yet. So it's just
or the participant is like ghosts them and just doesn't talk to them at all. We've seen both.
We have seen both. It's crazy making. So yes, because we don't control these things, it's very hard for us to count them, track them, keep up with them, and make sure we can get people into them, if that makes sense.
Right now, if you're listening and you're like, wow, I really wanted to join a leader team for like a year now, just email us. A lot of what we have been doing right now is setting up our system and praying for 10-2B answers and people who want to be involved. If you are not actively reaching out, chances are we failed you a little bit, but just reach out. We love you. We don't hate you. We don't harbor any hard feelings. We just got a lot going on, which you might have noticed today. So email us.
And we hope that within the next year, this circle can do some listening and praying around this issue and figure out a way to maybe have better communication with our leader team facilitators. I mean, Discord was a game breaker, right? A game changer, not a game breaker, a great game changer for us. And that came through focused attention, praying, listening. And so maybe the next idea will come, and then we'll be able to have better communication between each other and with these specifically these leader team facilitators. So
there's a verse in Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs, that I think relates to this. It says, "Know well the condition of your flocks," and that's what Luke 10 is trying to do. And I would imagine that shepherding a large flock had all kinds of problems, issues, trying to keep sheep, head in the right direction. Not that we're trying to control things, but we're trying to know well the condition of the people that the Lord has entrusted to us.
Yeah. Thank you. And then administrative support for the mission circle, which probably would now be the general circle. When this was developed, we probably didn't have all the circles we have now. But just any administrative support for any of the circles, really. Because operations, meaning our active campaign and our member portal affects all circles at this point. So if anyone has an issue, they can contact operations and we can hopefully help support them. Any other domains that you can think of that this type of circle would need to have?
Looks good to me.
Great for a start, right? Good enough to say, good enough for now, safe enough to try. Right. And we can edit it and as we go, continue building that plane in flight. We just lost Hillary, I think. Okay, so that being said, we have to propose a steward for now. And then that circle actually votes or does consent around, does elections for who will represent that circle in our general circle. And I will definitely propose Hillary for now until Dennis gets on his feet. Once he gets on his feet, we'll communicate and probably even either let him be a delegate into the circle from that one or move him into steward already. I don't know. We'll have to just see where he's at, how he's feeling, and hopefully he'll be traveling to the United States soon and be in transition again. But anyway, I propose, if we're doing elections for steward for this circle, I would propose myself for that. Or we probably should listen and write that down, but I'm pretty sure Hillary and I have already listened on this and we've talked about it. And since
I have asked not to be steward, and we spent probably like 3 hours listening. And this is not technically the sociocratic way of voting and listening, but I second Tony's proposal to be steward because I don't want to be. And Dennis isn't ready yet, but Dennis, get ready because it's coming for you.
That's right. Very unique situation where we would normally, yes, all of us would listen and we would all nominate someone to steward the circle. And then we would talk about why we like that person for this role. And then we might shift our nominations, and it's a whole process. I think that might not be necessary in this situation. And I volunteer, unless anyone has a paramount objection, to steward that circle until Dennis hopefully can be nominated. Any questions, clarifications, or anything in that way as far as that goes?
Love the work you two have already done on this. I think it looks very clear.
All right. Great. So can we give a consent round to the formation of an operations circle that will carry the attention of this part of our organization?
You don't want to wait another couple of months on this before we do this? Just kidding. I can
do it live tomorrow.
We'll do it live tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, we did it. We did it.
Question.
Yes, quick question. Go for
it. So my screen just went completely gray and it had a little sad face on it. I just texted you all the picture because it's hilarious. What did it look like for you guys to have me just bounced out?
It just disappeared.
It disappeared? Okay.
Yeah,
my entire computer just went gray and then had a square sad face right in the middle.
Hillary, my first thought was the rapture had occurred and you were the only one taken. So I was really feeling upset about that.
Okay, so we only have 13 minutes left, and I'm wondering if we can look at our report together. A, because we finished it and we need to look at it, and B, because, well, some of us finished it. And if you didn't, that's okay. You were really busy, I'm sure. But just so we can read and look at it together, because some of you might not have been able to see it at all for last month, and we're already well into this month. So I would love to give that a quick look over. Let's go to just the reflections, if we can. Hillary, are you able to bring that up and share your screen freaked out on you? Okay.
It's gonna take me a couple of seconds though, because my computer died, but we're getting there.
Okay. I mean, I can try to share again.
I got it.
Okay, great. It is right there on the report at the top if you need it, right above our names. Okay.
I just gotta load my drive.
So we'll go over our reflections briefly, and then if we want to look at numbers, we can. And I'm not sure if everybody even was able to fill out the reflections. So this is something we try to do monthly, and I think it's great for people to see everything that we do track and how we report on what we track. So every month, we have a whole thing of numbers that we look at, stats that we look at within the organization, and then we fill out this form from each circle that we do. So I can share mine, and then if anyone else filled their part out, they can share it, and we can just stop and do just a quick reaction to each one. So a general circle, I'm the steward of this circle. Health of the circle. We're still learning how to implement sociocracy. Sorry, after what, a year and a half? I believe we've settled, wait, is this right? With our version of it for now. And it seems to be working. Ideally, I believe the delegate is supposed to do the reporting on their circle instead of the steward of that circle. But we usually let the steward share because they seem to know more than the delegate. Any thoughts on this? So as y'all are thinking through the month, feel free to interact with these questions in the actual document in our comment section, right? So the idea is that when we finish our report, everyone goes in and reads it and then interacts with each other on it. That way we can reflect on what we're experiencing and continue to learn and grow from the organization itself, right? So I've just noticed in our circle, that's what's happening, and we can talk more about it next week or next time we meet if we want to. But any thoughts? Have y'all even noticed that that's happening, first of all? Probably not. I can't hear anyone right now. Can I see anyone? Oh, good. I can see you. Probably didn't notice it's happening. Am I right? Okay. That's okay. I think that's about right. No worries at all. Okay, there's Hillary, but we lost the report. Are you okay, Hill? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm okay. I don't think my computer is okay. It just keeps like going gray with that sad little face. I don't know what's happening.
That's okay. Can you guys get to the reflections on your own and we can read them out loud since we can't share them? I mean, I can try to share again, but I don't know if it's going to work on me either. Sharing another user is sharing their screen. That's what it says to me. It says another user.
So wild because I'm not.
I know, right? And then I click share and it says, please ensure permissions are granted. So anyway, all right. And then we'll work on that more later if we feel like we need to. But my main comment is, I think we've settled on it good enough for now for us. I think we have an understanding that works. Celebration of the circle, understanding our Enneagrams last few months was really helpful. And it even helped John and I navigate a potential conflict brilliantly and quickly with very little energy loss last month. And I said, yay. So that was a big celebration for me. I don't know how you felt about it, John, but I thought it was awesome. You might not even remember it. It was settled so quickly.
just went right by me. No, I think it does. It is a great help. I agree with that.
Super fun. Delighted to work together. That's my check-in. Here's my reflection on our numbers. So I'm noticing lower numbers enrolling in facilitator training currently. And then I write some of this up there. In 2021, for example, from January to May, we had 12 people sign up for training. And in 2022, in the same time period, we only had 7 sign up. And 2 things come to mind. So this is fascinating. 1, so again, I'm looking at things, I'm reflecting on our experience as an organization, right? So I ask God about it and I think to myself and I go, well, you know what? One thing that happened between these 2 years is we stopped people from directly signing up for training. And now they have to sign up for an intro call. And so I researched that and I realized that 4 of the people who signed up that last year never actually moved forward in their training. So that actually brings the number down to 8, which is not too different than this year. If those who have signed up are actually engaging in training, right? So the intro call may be keeping people who are not interested in training from signing up. So we might have had inflated numbers the year before because we didn't have an intro call in place. And that might be the reason why there's a discrepancy. Does that make sense?
I appreciate you digging into that, Tony.
Yeah. A second reason I'm thinking is organic leader team growth could mean that people will not continue to train with us, right? That someone might not sign up for a facilitator training because maybe they're getting enough from their local environment or from, like if the Berries are doing local leader teams, then maybe the Berries are training them. And so they're not going to sign up for our facilitator training. That could be happening. It could happen. And that might mean lower numbers. I don't know if it will mean it or not. But again, I'm just trying to understand the way organic growth will affect us and if it will. So we don't have evidence of this yet. I'm just imagining. Just saying. Okay, so recommendations. What are my recommendations after reflecting on these things? Maybe we should make a testimonial video of people who've benefited from facilitator training. And John, you've been suggesting that for eons already. And be able to have that and use it. I just don't know where we would use it or when or how often. But I'm thinking like something like a 3-minute or 4-minute video of several different people, just real sharp, real fast with clips of their takeaways from training, or why they would recommend training, kind of like what we're doing on the phone. But anyway, we can talk about that later. But those are some of my recommendations to get their stories out there. Reactions, thoughts, questions about all things General Circle related that I've shared.
I don't think so. I think that was a good example of what it looks like for us to report and what we're reporting on for circles.
Where do we report on Church 101 numbers?
So in this section, what I do is I look at all of the numbers of the organization, and I report on shifts, changes, the things God draws my attention to. So the numbers are in the numbers area. So if you want to just see all of the numbers, you go to the numbers report. Right. And then I was going to share that with everyone today so they could see all of the numbers of Luke 10 and where we track those and where. So I reflect on those if they're significant and I need to talk about that, or I see changes or shifts or things like that. And you're free, John, to always look at that and reflect on that as well any way you want to. We all can reflect on those things if that's where God draws our attention as we're writing our report, right?
I'm just noticing that the total participants in Church 101 for May was 8. And I keep hearing tons of stories, and maybe they're just all organic groups, but tons of stories of, huge Church 101 groups. I'm just not sure what to make of all that.
Hillary.
Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, John mentioned that to me the other day, and I mentioned to him that a lot of those groups started in April, but were continuing through May. And so their numbers were probably in April, or they're about to start, or they started in June, which was 2 weeks ago, right? And so their numbers will be in June, not in May. So when you're looking at that month, the only numbers recorded are the people that actually started Church 101 in that month. So that was my theory on probably what was going on there. But John, honestly, if you could write down every time you hear someone say they're doing an organic church or they're in one, and just either text them or Hillary, I usually shout right back to them and say, have you told Hillary about that?
Yeah.
Have you told Hillary you're doing organic? Or I'll write Hillary and say, do you know that John's doing organic? Do you know that so-and-so?
Eventually that person will be Dennis. So you can even do both of us right now while he's in training.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be really helpful. Also, for your own knowledge, on that spreadsheet, we comment who is doing intro calls and who is participating. You just need to hover your mouse over the boxes with the little yellow triangle in the top right corner.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, just so you know, John, I already have a proposal to submit to the Operations Circle regarding tracking organic Church 101s. So
Great.
We're already thinking on it, and we'll see proposals soon, hopefully.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But that is really hard. It's really hard. Organic, everything is hard.
Yeah, it is. It is a challenge.
Okay, we just have a few more minutes. Susan, are you, would you like to report? Did you do any of the, I don't see numbers or anything. Okay, so we're good with that.
No, unfortunately, I was on the road during that time, so.
John, would you like to hit the mission circle stuff before we go?
Do we have time?
So we're at the bottom of the.
I don't think we have time.
I thought it was 25 after, and I see 29 now. Okay. Well, we can please read what John's written by our next meeting, which is the end of the month, and we have to have another report done. So
and I'll try to write them and interact.
Before you start the next report, read this one. Interact, comment. That way we don't have to take the time here to draw our attention to it. But if we have to take the time here to draw our attention to it, we will. So it's not a big deal, but it does save this time for other work if we all give our attention to the report before our meetings. Yeah. Okay. Closing round. What did we take away? What did we enjoy? What did we notice God doing? What was most important?
So my reflection would be we made a big step in birthing the Operation Circle, which has been in process. It's been a long pregnancy. How about that? As important as that is, in my mind, even the most important thing was just paying attention to Hillary's heart and letting her know that we love her and value her, and that her feelings about what's going on are important. So glad that we get to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. People that start working with us, Zach in particular comes to mind, and Jonathan, Hillary when she came too, but say, you know what, y'all invite all of me to show up, and I've never had all of me invited to show up at a work situation. And I just saw that beautifully modeled today, Hillary, that you let all of you show up, which is awesome, because you can do that now, and how precious it is, how wonderful it is, how John, I was so moved when you told her, it's good enough as it is. Like that's icing on the cake or gravy, whatever, if that happens. And I was even moved to tears just to see that. It just feels like us, and it feels right to care for each other's hearts in the middle of the mission. And I don't think the world sees that modeled enough.
That's right. Amen.
Well, I just am going to piggyback right on that. And yeah, I think I find it interesting, that other workplaces are like, we don't have time to pay attention to all that. We don't have time to get into all that with you. And, that's not a high value to us. But the interesting thing is, we listened to Hillary. We gave her space. We
told her to leave.
We hugged on her and we told her, go ahead, go leave, take a break. And we're expecting her to be gone the whole meeting. And she came back in and she checked back in and said, I'm doing much better. I'm feeling much more able to handle this. I just needed you to listen to me. And it was like, it didn't take that much time. And it, made her feel better and made her in a better place mentally to be able to do her job. So, I love that we take the time to do that. And really, in reality, a lot of times it doesn't take that much time, and we end up with a better environment all the way around. So it really, bottom line is, it really is good for the organization and the individual. And it's worth taking time. It's worth giving her that space, and it's worth taking the time to look at that stuff and give her the opportunity to just share her heart and tell us how she's really doing. So,
thanks.
Well said.
Thank you, Susan. You guys summarized it beautifully, so that's not my takeaway. My takeaway is actually a very crucial step we've been missing in sociocracy, which is the very last step of celebrating once we come to consent. We don't do that. When I was at the conference in Eden, they were like, oh, we just consented. Let's celebrate.
I didn't know we were supposed to do that.
Apparently, we're supposed to be celebrating.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So I don't know if we need to clap.
What do we do? We dance? Do we clap? Do we jump up and down? I don't know. What does it look like?
What it looks like, but join us for happy hour on Friday.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Love you guys. See you the 29th in this way, and I'll see you in many other ways the rest of this week.
Before
love you guys. Yeah.
Before we're done, so you guys can go backstage. People watching live, you're welcome to leave, but we need to talk about some technical issues with Tony, so that way she can help me with the video thing. So you're welcome to listen if you want to. Okay, so I want you to get your eyes on this. When you click end session. Don't do it yet, because as soon as you do it, I won't be able to talk to you. You won't be able to talk to me, and you'll be on your own, and there will be a blank screen. Right now, hold on. Right now we have like 30 minutes of wiggle room. So this is actually probably really great time for you. It's more than I've ever had. When you click end session, it'll give you the option for a replay or to leave a text. Instead of leaving text,
Hold on. I'm sorry. Just a second. I need to make sure someone knows I'm going to meet them. They want me at the zoo in 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I can do that. Okay. At entry. Okay. Great. All right. Go for it.
You want to go to the zoo?
I know. I'm all yours.
Okay. So it has two options: the look at the replays or add a text. We eventually, our end goal is we're just going to add a text. But for right now, when we end session, I want you to look at those replays and try to figure out which number today starts.
Right. Okay. All right. Great.
Yep. The first session that we're looking for, the replay number is of John and Dennis, their gentle curiosity.
Right. That was this morning. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But before that, there's a different recording, just to let you know.
All right.
And I'm going to stay here. Maybe you can talk to me, maybe you can't, but I haven't been able to talk to anybody once that's happened. So I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be silently.
In the room later.
Great.